unexpected things to happen, not the same thing every time. So emergent behavior. We like to give you tools that you learn how to play with and experiment with. We like to
pretty cool.
Reward exploration. So we like to give you a massive world and let you go to the far reaches and reward you with surprises about, you know, the history of the world or what people have done in this particular area.
At least they're putting work in. That was the main thing that I was worried about, is that
things that we wanted to.
It just seemed like a game that was trying to tie into a movie that was going to be out way before it.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was worried that they would just make it completely.
Almost 3.5 years now, is that
right? See what she just said. They were developing this game for 3.5 years.
Actually, that were making Mad Max Fury Road. Did you somehow like talk to them?
We absolutely did. Yeah. So very early on, I mean, obviously, it's such a precious franchise, well known, at least if you're my age.
Yeah.
And the fans are so fanatical about the license and that it's treated right, and you know, so it was really important for us to make to set this game in a world that was as authentic and faithful to the Mad Max license. Now, as you know, people didn't know at that time, but as you know, a new film was being made, which was kind of a re-envisioning of what that universe looked like and how it worked and how the people behaved and so on. The visuals.
Looked like the car was floating there for a second.
We spent a lot of time with George Miller, understanding his vision for what the true Mad Max universe is. And we paid a lot of attention in the pre-production and production.
This was kind of the original Twisted Metal.
We are firmly setting this in another part of the world, but exactly the same world, the same universe.
A long time before Twisted Metal came out, this movie came out.
No, so the game it's a single-player game. You play as Max.
Vitamin K, what's up, man?
We want to give you the opportunity to write your own story. So there are a lot of characters. There's a dramatic, overarching story arc, if you like. You've got an antagonist who's like a Scabrous Scrotus is his name, who's got a stranglehold on the wasteland. You need something from him. Max is not a hero. You need something, so he's in your way, basically. He attacks you, takes away your interceptor at the start, and you're basically left for dead unless you build your own vehicle. And that's the premise for the game. You start out and you customize a vehicle with the help of this charming hunchback on the back of the vehicle you see here.
A lovely guy.
Who's helping you harpoon enemies from that balcony there.
You talked about your connection with the filmmakers, but I guess that was quite a risk because if the movie bombed, then no one would be interested in playing the game, Mad Max. Was that something you were concerned about?
I don't know. I guess it's academical now.
Yeah, it is. But obviously,
but to be fair, it wouldn't be right to make a Mad Max game and to just try to redefine the universe. That was never something that we intended to do. We do have, you know, there are some different elements in here compared with the film. It's a unique story. There are unique characters. This part of the world we've crafted from the ground up. So I think if it's an immersive open world, if it's a really
combat.
So if you've got the right tools, if it's a world that makes you want to go out and explore, if it's fast-paced action.
Dang, and just blasted him too.
Supported.
This is pretty cool. It looks much more open world than I thought it would be.
Wasteland, regardless of how the film did.
Yeah, well, maybe. Okay, let's talk about the game actually. What is? Oh. One second, I just get the info on the ear that we got some technical issues, so we have to make a very short break, but we're going to be right back. Also Freunde, ihr habt's gerade gehört, wir haben ein ganz kleines technisches Problem, aber wir sind sofort wieder da und dann reden wir weiter über Mad Max, also bleib bitte dran.
Alright, no copyrighted music, sorry, you guys aren't getting me, not happening. And we're back over here. Go forward and see where we can get to. Alright, we're back.
Tja, da sind wir wieder, liebe Freunde.
One of the things you need to do to pro in any Avalanche Studios game is if you can see it, you can go there.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
There are no backdrops, no level loading, nothing like that.
So they're showing more of it. Okay, good.
You can go there and you can go past and you can keep going, and we won't stop you. Keep going. You might run out of content. There might not be that much of interest to see and do, but So that's the way our technology works. In this particular demo, you've just come from an area which is called the Great White. It's a seabed, dried out seabed.
This one over here.
And
All right.
there's the harbour that Evan's just looked at, and you've just broken through the harbour wall, a massive reinforced gate called the Jaw. We're on our way to Pink Eye because we've heard that she has information about a V8 engine that Max needs. It's an important component for him.
This game looks pretty cool.
Make the most awesome.
It looks a lot more open world than I thought it would be, and also a lot more detailed than I thought it would be.
Of Scrotus. Actually, Max always wants to
see why it took them 3.5 years. They were trying to make their own Fallout.
It's never really clear whether it's himself or his demons or people or whatever.
Trying to make their own version of
This
Fallout.
is the whole area, like all of the game, or is there even more?
We've just gone into this sort of red area, and red indicates that we haven't begun to lower the threat of Scrotus yet. So the redder an area is,
jeez, look how big this map is.
Scrotus's control it is, and one of the things you need to do to progress and get close to being able to build up your car is to weaken his hold on the region. And you can do that in a number of different ways. You can start pulling down scarecrows or
That is super huge.
attack his oil fuel camps. You can also choose to make alliances with some of the last outposts of sort of civilization or resistance in the wasteland. Yeah. And one of these is part of this demo. It's owned by a survivor called Pink Eye. She's an old warrior in a wheelchair. She's been through the wars.
Okay.
Now they won't necessarily let you in. They're not. They're not used to
combat
making friends with people, and Max doesn't want to make friends with anyone.
Combat is a little suspect.
But they can definitely trade services with each other to form an uneasy alliance.
Okay.
So you were talking about the cars and how you can
customize them.
Yeah, customize them. That's the word I was looking for. Are there any limits? Like, can you build your own dream car?
Well,
can I put wings on it?
Yeah, right.
Evan, can you bring up the garage here? Let's just change the look of the car and
it's kind of weird you can change the look of your car while you're driving.
In the game. And our claim is that
I mean, I would probably not like it if you couldn't do that, but at the same time, if they're going for
on the side here, as Evan
immersion, then I would think you should only be able to upgrade your car while you're at a garage or at a place where you can do things like that.
You have to tinker and tune your vehicle to suit your playing style or the types of encounters.
It must be more than a 3-hour game.
So example, if he were to build
over 3 hours, most likely.
You know, lots of armor, very heavy ramming grill.
Which is actually kind of what I want right now.
Which is what he's going for.
Give us a tank.
On cue.
Derek, so what's up, man?
You will be able to do serious damage to vehicles in certain, situations. You won't be able to reach certain areas of the wasteland. You won't be able to climb up certain cliffs or hillsides. You won't be able to escape.
Oh, that's cool though. They made it so that the
so you're choosing
what he's saying is they made it so if you don't construct your car with the right components, there won't be parts. There'll be parts of the map that you can't get to because you don't have the traction or the ability to get up hills. So there are parts of the map that are cut off to you based on what your car can do.
And each archangel has
that is pretty
a particular
cool.
Speciality. Like
I like that.
Is great for positioning quickly and
that is
around
pretty dang
enemy
cool.
convoys or encounters. Also great for escaping, not so great for doing heavy damage against the heavier.
Wow, so you actually have to choose your car correctly. You have to really think about where you're going, who you're about to fight.
Good suspension and handling. They're good for exploring far, further away areas of the wasteland, and climbing up, scavenging and looting and so on.
That is pretty cool.
Yes, and it's all. So, for example, if he were to add the heaviest armor, the heaviest ramming grill without upgrading his tires or his suspension, he'd just be a beached whale. He wouldn't be able to move the car. He'd have no acceleration, no maneuverability, and so on. So it really is a game of trade-offs.
Story elements and everything. Wow, they put a lot more into this game than I was thinking.
Sort of maxing out everything. That won't lead to the best driving experience.
Like,
I see
they worked 3.5 years on this Mad Max game. It's open world.
Open world combat based.
The upgrades on your car actually make a difference of how much exploration you can do in certain directions, because you can't get up certain hills. You'll have trouble with certain games if you're driving certain cars. That is cool.
If you want to progress,
that is really cool. And they put in graphical fidelity. They actually made the game look impressive.
Yes,
that is something
else. We want the vehicle action sequences to be this roller coaster ride of action and massive explosions and so on. Obviously, the tempo of hand-to-hand brawling is very different. But
kind of like a third-person Fallout, but with its own,
world. And you see that
Mad Max feel, of course.
Initially
the original.
In the game, we present you with what looks like a desert, a barren seabed, with nothing but wrecks and cliff faces and so on. But the trick is that there's so much hidden in the world.
It better be a full game, yeah. If they start doing that DLC stuff for this, they're going way too far.
Lots of it is underground.
I mean, it does look very impressive, but
yep. So this is
they need to just put the full game out.
I don't want to give too much away.
It's bad enough that they worked 3.5 years on this game. They missed the movie boat, so basically it didn't get to be an actual tie-in because it's coming out so far after the movie's been out.
Just passed by an oil pipe. Leads from somewhere.
So yeah, it better just be the full game.
You see the distant shadow of an oil refinery in the background. Some of the camps look very much like oil rigs. You see the harbour wall. You may not know it as a harbour wall, but if
wow, look at that!
To invest,
T-boned and exploded. Alright, I'm gonna blow this up. This is some action right here.
You will uncover how this world before the apocalypse looked and functioned, and where you might expect.
By the way, welcome to the stream, everybody.
Or a church, or an office building, or a diner, or whatever. So that's one of the ways that we like to reward people for their efforts in investing in covering a large area of the world. You'll also find notes written from survivor. We don't know if they've survived or not, but people before the apocalypse. Maybe pictures of their family. Scribbled on the back. Maybe hints about what happened in the apocalypse.
So not only is it exploration, not only is it combat, but there's also portions of it where you can actually learn about the people who survived, the people who died, find out what happened to them, where they are maybe.
The on-foot combat is definitely one of the vehicles for exploring underground and exploring some of these more out-of-the-way areas.
I must say, I like the look of this game.
I was going to say, it does actually look pretty alive for a desert, so there's so much you can see in the background. This really dirty Mad Max style, and all the stuff you told us that you can discover, does that include a lot of side quests as well? Is there like any specific side mission?
Yeah, it does play kind of like Twisted Metal, but more, I would say, heavier. It looks like the cars definitely have more weight to them, more realistic.
An array of things.
Of course, more realistic than Twisted Metal. There's no flaming clown head.
So there's an array of activities and encounters and things that you can do, and we will reward you if you go out looking for them. And some of the things we will signpost for you when you go up in that vantage outpost, but some of them we won't. Some of them are
this is very impressive.
Centered around some of the quirky characters in the wasteland.
Alright, I'm going to put a poll in here.
This particular area, these catapults belong
Mad
to
Max, yes.
Scrotus, or Stankum, one of his most heinous generals. And Scrotus is attacking one of these sort of last bastions.
And it's going to be between continue Mad Max or next poll, next game.
With Scrotus,
and welcome
Max,
Lewis.
In this case,
what is up, Lewis?
Is trying to help her out by weakening Scrotus, take down these catapults and stop the attack.
Hey, when it transformed, when it transformed and started launching rockets, yeah, sweet tooth, man.
And they can sort of form some sort of
that game.
Will you give us an explanation for the name Scrotus? Because it sounds like, scrotum. So, why is there a character called Scrotus?
No, wait,
what's the story?
Well, Scabra Scrotus is one of the sons of Immortan Joe.
Oh, all right, okay, yeah, we all know him by now, of course, yeah.
And his other sons have equally.
No, wait, crap. Well, we might come back to it, man.
Okay.
Looks like it's Looks like the votes are in.
And the seat of his power is in Gastown, which is sort of where the story is.
All right, so we might come back.
Climax. That's where.
But for now, we are going on to the next game.
Obviously on live TV. No.
But there is much more footage apparently. So.
But first of all, as usual, please introduce yourself. So, who are you? Who am I
what's this
going to
be?
My name is Will Biles. I'm the executive creative director of Until Dawn at Superman.
Until Dawn.
Hi, Will.
Nice.
To have you. So, please talk about Until Dawn. We had the pleasure to play it, a very short build, a very short demo. I think it was about 15
I'm hype about
minutes
this.
of gameplay, I guess.
Let's go back here.
But for those
have that blown up.
who
So what's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream.
What kind of game is this?
That mustache, for sure, that mustache.
It's a very different sort of game. It's not a traditional kind of shooter or anything like that. It's basically, it's like a blockbuster American-style horror movie. But you play all of the characters in that.
And please keep letting me know, everybody, if you can hear the audio levels correctly, because I do want you to be able to hear what's going on in the game and also hear my commentary at the same time. So if it's good, just let me know. Thank you guys for being here, by the way.
You will see. And so finally,
Nitty Gritty episode 4.
Like a kind of a mini series of about 9 hours, like a full story. Everybody in this game can be alive at the end. Everybody can be dead at the end.
Nice.
Or anywhere in between.
Said a normal playthrough will last about 9 hours, and everyone can live, or everybody could die.
Going back and trying it again.
And
so we don't let any,
in between there, of course, like half the people could probably die, and half the people could live.
But I guess when your last character is dead, then the game is over, right?
Is over, right?
No, it's not. No, I know.
Okay.
Wow.
I can play
and if the last player dies, that doesn't mean the game's over.
There is.
What do you mean?
What happens in this game, and there are literally thousands of different paths through this game. Whatever happens, you will get to dawn, and at dawn, either everybody will be alive, or everyone will be dead, or anybody anywhere in between.
Okay.
Wow.
Sounds very interesting.
So no matter what you do, you make it all the way through the game. It just depends. Like the different outcomes are up to you, up to the choices you make.
Shooter or something. Why did you choose to do the game like it
is
right
awesome.
now instead of like open world? And
by the way, if you're enjoying the show,
everybody has freedom.
You can tweet about it.
Why did you choose to do it like this?
Well,
I appreciate it. Just click where it says tinyurl.com. That'll send out a tweet to everybody on your list. Well, not to them, but they'll be able to see it, and they can come in here and hang out with us too. After watching this on YouTube after the fact, what's up? Stop by. It is www.twitch.tv/grittyurbansaga.
Story games have a bit of gameplay and then a cutscene.
Funny videos of Skyrim. Oh, I'm blowing this up. We have to see this.
It's got better, and lots of them now weave it together. But we wanted to go very much down the story is the thing. There's gameplay in there. I mean, it's exploration.
Sure. Yeah, we saw that. We played it.
And there's exploration, and in fact, the more you explore, the better you'll be. There's clues to find, to work out. There's collectibles, there's totems, there's shooting, there's combat. So all of that's in there, but it's not like a separate chunk that goes, chunk of gameplay, chunk of story. It's all mixed together. And the idea is that you will have a completely different story to somebody else.
You talked about David Cage, and that's a great cue, because David Cage is obviously a very polarizing person. The games he does, they divide the people into two halves. Isn't it kind of risky to get in line with a person like David Cage and the stuff he does?
Well, you know what, it is risky, and I really hope that the gaming community embrace this rather than shut it, because it's not attacking anything in games. It's its own medium. It's like the PlayStation 4 is fantastic. It's an amazing bit of a kit. There's an entire, whatever you have in there, there's an entire world that comes out. And storytelling and that.
Cam Clutch, what's up, man?
You use something like that. That would be perfect. It is risky. Sony have taken a good kind of punt on doing this. It would be such a pleasure to see it embraced rather than rejected. Not because of it being Until Dawn, and not because I really wanted to be there, just because it's just another great thing to have. Why? You can still have FIFA, you can still have Call of Duty, you can still have all those games, and you can have this. You don't have to go, oh well, if you have this, you can't have that.
What have you missed? That's a good question.
It's like open it up for everybody,
we saw
and then we'll have more
some really good Mad Max footage. Mad Max is shaping up to be a game way better than I thought it was going to be. Some great footage, and I'll probably go back to some of it because it's basically like like its own version of Fallout.
I'm doing and who's dead and who's alive. How was that writing process?
It was very hard.
I guess.
Yes,
Well,
Lewis,
so
I understand that.
A single story, and then we looked at where we would branch.
Skip Assassin's Creed because honestly they need to end that series. We'll see.
And still the story would go on.
We shall see.
We have just got an amazing team at Supermassive.
I'm probably not going to skip any of these. I'm probably going to show more or less of certain ones based on what you guys like and what's getting reactions from you guys and what I'm feeling hype about myself. So we're probably not going to watch entire footage of every single game here. We're gonna do our best to give everything a fair shot to be impressive. I mean, it's all impressive. It's hard to make games, guys. It really is, and that's why it takes so long, and that's why you have to have specialized knowledge. That's why there's one guy who does one thing. There's one guy who makes like the tree textures. There's one guy who helps the motion capture team. There's one guy who records the ambient sound effects. Like, there's one guy for everything. But that's how hard it is to make games. So these are all impressive games. It's just the ones that are gonna hype us up the most. I've been hyped too. Uh-oh, here we go. We got gameplay here. Let's blow this up. Welcome to the stream, by the way, everybody. RKO CJ, this was live 2 days ago.
People are going, oh, hang on, there's another layer there, and then there's another layer. And so the dialogue is actually really very clever because it goes to... It starts off in this kind of like it's not jokey, it's just awkward teenagers, but it's kind of has that thing. Then you get the sort of subtle layers coming through, and of course you are also choosing what the dialogue is. So you can have a conversation that could go in any one of many directions and change and change.
Man, I cannot wait for this game. Do you guys know this game is coming out this month?
Who hates somebody now, or there's a fist fight, you know, the people get jealous, the girlfriends and boyfriends are kind of swapping, and it's all, you know.
This comes out this month.
But you know, it's like that's the kind of that's the beauty of having the pair of
I'm excited about that.
Larry and Graham.
So even though we were
type a 1 in the comment section on YouTube right now, or type a 1 in the chat if you are looking forward to seeing footage of this game, seeing me get scared playing through this game, especially, or if you yourself are going to be playing this game.
100%, yeah. It's just, you know,
Clutch Maneuvers is in the house. Every time it goes back to them sitting on the couch, I'm going to go back to this view. That's their punishment.
It's like, you know,
let's go have a drink.
Clutch, what's up, man?
It's such a cool kind of genre. And I've probably watched more. Okay, this is not a challenge, but I've watched more horror than.
Then they're back to gameplay. So, all right, we're going back.
You see something, you think, this is cool, and you pull these little tropes out, and some of them are fantastic. I mean, you know, just I was going to look at the logo there, but some of them have, you know, like
we can see it over there.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, the mountain, you know, with a lodge. It's kind of a little bit like The Shining with the snow and all that sort of stuff. And then, you know, we've obviously used some of Friday the 13th and some of Halloween and some of Scream and the whole kind of postmodern side of stuff as well, where it's self-referential and this is you know what, girl in a towel walking around a spooky basement. I mean, that's just out of every cliche horror you've ever had.
Yeah, sure, of course.
It is kind of cheesy, actually.
Completely, and we set it up.
It's
Absolutely.
a towel dress.
What happens here is like, oh my god, this is a complete trope. You know, it's like I've seen this in every horror film I've ever seen. But then once
it's a new rage, it's a new horror fashion.
Deeper as you go through.
I have to say,
they put so much into this game. Look at the character models.
This is actually Hayden Panettiere, right?
Yes.
You had a casting and casted her.
Yes.
When you write stories like that, do you have people in mind already? What you think of? Okay, this can be the person, exactly the right person for a character like this?
So yes, we do. I mean, you definitely kind of have characters in mind, and I always quite like to personify those characters by having an actual face, because it helps me work on some of the writing and stuff. But of course, you don't know till it's cast. You know, they might say yes, they might say no. There might be £1 million, and that's too much. So, it's like So luckily with Hayden was the person we had in mind, and Hayden said, "Yeah, I'd love to do this." And she's done loads of horror films. She's done. And
so that's a real actress.
And, and she was in Bug's Life. You know, the thing is the little.
It would be typical if you weren't able to play it and it didn't look this good and it didn't have like at least 1,000 different outcomes that make it to where it's not ever the same game ever again. No matter what you do, it won't ever turn out the same way. And also that everyone can die or everyone can live, and no matter what, you still will get to the end of the game. It'll just be a different outcome. I think it's not your typical horror. I think there are few things that make it a little bit,
at the end.
a little bit outside of the norm.
Talking about Hayden Panettiere, was it some kind of difficult to get her filmed her own death scenes? Because I can imagine they're very gory and brutal, because after all we are in a video game, we can do stuff we maybe cannot show on the silver screen.
Oh my goodness,
how was
man.
Working with Hayden in that regard?
It's brilliant. I mean, they all
It says don't move, and you can't move the controller because there's a motion sensor in it. That is hype.
They can swap from one.
Holy crap.
You can do one scene would be like a major death scene and brutal, and then she suddenly
how awesome is that? It has a motion sensor in the controller, so you literally cannot move while this guy is looking for you, or else he'll find you.
But we also did a fairly interesting thing, because this is obviously all of these scenes can change. Is we couldn't just have one performance, so we wanted to have one facial performance plus all the variations on that, but we also wanted to have different body performances. So we've mixed other body doubles sometimes for different scenes. And we had stunt people do a lot of her, you know,
of course,
very, very physical stuff. So
yeah.
I would have a last question.
Yes.
I can ask. We noticed a thing called butterfly effect when we were playing this game. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Sure. So, as I said before, the story is full of branches. Literally, for the first time.
You just need to be over here when this game comes out, Clutch.
And so everybody gets, I mean, when you work out the maths on this, it's like 6 million different variations. I mean, some of them are tiny.
6 million different variations.
There are some points where that branch is so significant. It might be a tiny thing, but it actually will have a big knock-on onto your story.
All right.
And it's like you're coming along a pathway, and you hit this choice or a decision, and you think, well, okay, that seems nothing. I'm just going to choose this way. And if that butterfly comes up, it's like, that was big. That's gone, and now you're going down this route. Your fate has changed, is basically what that is.
Oh,
okay,
right.
and one very last thing I have to ask. Favorite horror movie is?
The Haunting, 1963.
The Haunting?
Black and white.
The Haunting?
Film. Scariest film I ever saw. Mind you, I saw it when I was quite young.
Right?
Okay, I was about to say, you better been young when you saw it or something, man, because that movie is not.
I actually have a horror.
Not one of the scariest things.
No,
that was not.
Wait a second. This one. You hear?
Genius.
What the heck?
That's very much horror for you.
Scary.
Thanks so much for taking the time.
Welcome.
It was great talking to you. One last thing, could you please, as well, of course, sign our canvas over here? You can.
Sure.
You can give us your name. You can draw a picture. You can do whatever you want.
The pen is right down
was
there. I can pick it up for you.
John from Avalanche Studios.
Oh, right, okay.
He came before you, and now it's your chance. And at the end of the show, we're gonna give this canvas away. So do whatever you want. Feel free.
What is he doing?
Be an artist.
Yeah, it's coming out this month, man.
Draw blood. Draw horror.
What is he drawing? Is it a skull?
I can't see it right now. He's drawn something. Okay,
yeah.
I don't want to spoil the surprise. He is drawn something.
It's a skull.
Yeah. We
Good job,
can see
man.
it now.
The logo with a little house.
Okay, yeah. I think we're gonna need a bigger canvas.
Sorry, okay.
Oh, he drew the cover of the game.
Very nice.
That is the skull, right?
All right, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you
thanks.
very
Not very
much.
well drawn, though.
And he signed it.
No,
It's
that's
okay.
great.
Yeah,
It looks great.
Okay.
What? They should add more
Once
footage of this
again,
game. I'm
thank
hype
you for
about
your
this
time.
game for sure.
Shall I
It
head
was a
off that way?
pleasure.
Yeah, just.
please.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to put up a poll now, and we're going to vote on if we go back and watch some more of the
real dead body here.
All right. Ja.
some more of Mad Max, or if we
Das
move
war
on
der
to the next
gute
game.
Will Biles von Until Dawn.
Auch ein sehr netter Typ mit einem extrem.
Der ist Schnurrbart, habt ihr das gesehen?
Ja, total. Ich hoffe, das haben wir irgendwie mal im Close gehabt, aber der hat richtig schön den Schnurrbart.
I think it has
Das fand ich
both.
richtig
I'm going
geil,
to say it has
muss ich
both
sagen.
vitamin.
Ein bisschen neidisch, ne?
Ja.
Bei
Mad
mir
Max
passiert ja eh nichts.
Ja, das
Leider.
wird vielleicht ein bisschen eng.
Next game.
Genau, dann haben wir noch eine Sache. Wir machen jetzt ein ganz kleines
Two choices, up to you guys.
von 5 Minuten ungefähr.
People watching this on YouTube, like I said, thank you very much for checking out this video. Also, you can join the live streams. That's what this is right here. I'm talking to the people who are in my chat currently. And we'll start streaming live on YouTube very soon as well. I might actually stream the last part of this broadcast on YouTube to see what type of turnout there is, because I've had long time long-time subscribers on YouTube who will get notified when I go live there as well. So it's a definite possibility I might be streaming the last part of this live on YouTube. So hopefully you are around to see that if you're watching this in the future. Time paradox in my head. But it makes sense.
Und dann wird der liebe Pepper in der Regie den Gewinner wählen, der am Ende eine PS4 einfach mal so
Lewis finally got his vote right again.
So, Freunde, wir brauchen ein kleines Päuschen. Ihr kriegt jetzt auch ein kleines Päuschen.
They're talking all kinds of languages.
Unbedingt dranbleiben. Es wird nämlich noch sehr, sehr spannend. Wir haben sehr, sehr
It's tied right now. We need one more vote for the tiebreaker. So we got two for that we stick to the next game, and then 2 for that we go back for some Mad Max footage. Huh. I wish there was a way to randomize a vote. There probably is. There's probably some sort of script I could write if I knew how to code. But I'm definitely going to... What can I do? What can I do? I'm going to pause this for now because the longer I let music like that play, the more probability there is that I get a copyright strike on YouTube, and those suck. You already voted in this poll. Sorry, you can only vote once. You tried. But, hey, you tried. So, I'm going to say, because you tried to be a cheater, I'm going to let you win, because you're very persistent. You really care about seeing some more Mad Max. So we're going to go back to Mad Max. I don't want to sit here on a blank screen, or not a blank screen, but a pause screen for too long. Wow, what good timing I went back to there. I just randomly clicked on the bar and it was like, Mad Max. Let's check out that trailer. I don't think we saw that trailer. Oh, here we see a list of what we're about to see. Okay, so the next game we were about to see is Horizon Zero Dawn. That game looks hype. Then there's Assassin's Creed Syndicate. It's a hands-on though, so it might show us some cool stuff. I'm probably not going to play a whole lot of that portion of this video. But then right after that is Uncharted 4, and then after that is Metal Gear Solid 5. 5! Holy crap. We're at least going to see this trailer of Mad Max, guys. We're at least going to do that now.
Live sehen, wie man mit dem Pferd äppeln kann.
Yes, what she said.
Hier im Interview.
Where is this trailer? I just found it accidentally.
Wait a second. A glimpse of it.
I found it accidentally before.
Auch jemanden mit dem eigentlichen Spiel.
Der Gamescom 2015.
Ein Bild.
Alright, I guess we're just gonna watch some gameplay.
No one would be interested in playing the game, Mad Max. Was that something you were concerned about?
Go here.
Or people, or whatever. But
so, look at how big this map is.
Area? Like all of the game, or is there even more?
We've just gone into this sort of red area, and red indicates that we haven't.
I really only care about Uncharted, Vitamin K. What? Yet. How is that possible?
So the redder an area is, the more under Scrotus's control.
This map is huge.
One of the things
like I said, it's like its own Fallout.
And get close to being able to
build. You're probably not going to be able to find as many items or go on as many random side quests to help people out, but this is definitely like the original Fallout. The first Mad Max probably inspired, I'd say, 75% of Fallout.
Last outposts of sort of
and I'm not talking about the original Fallouts. I'm talking about these modern day Fallouts, the ones like Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4. I would say that those games are, the people who made those games are probably very big fans of the Mad Max series.
Okay.
Now they won't necessarily
show some of the combat here.
Let you in. They're not used to making friends with people, and Max doesn't want to make friends with anyone.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But they can definitely trade services with each other.
Gets his stuff snapped.
To form an uneasy alliance.
Okay.
So you were talking about the cars and how you can.
I think it's.
Customize them. That's
what are they called?
Is there any? Are there any limits?
Yeah, I just heard the company and everything.
Dream car.
Well,
can I put wings?
I can't remember.
Yeah, right?
They're really well known.
The garage here. Let's just change the look of the car and.
Okay.
As soon as I hear it, I'm going to be like, how did I forget that?
One of the main sort of progression loops in the game.
Now this is a really cool part about it.
Two people should have the same magnum opus.
basically the amount of customization that you have on your car is really cool, of course, but there are certain things that you can do to your car that make it to where you can traverse different terrain, to where you can get to different parts of the map that you wouldn't have been able to get to if you were in a different type of car, or if you did not have the right type of tires or the engine, things like that in your car. That is crazy to me. That's really cool. They found a way to make it to where the exploration is actually part of the car that you have. That your ability to go different places is dependent upon your upgrades and things. So I think that's really cool. They didn't say, "Oh, this area is locked." Like they give you an opportunity
to vehicles in certain situations. You won't be able to reach certain areas of the wasteland. You won't be able to climb up certain cliffs or hillsides. You won't be able to escape as quickly as a faster car would. So you're choosing a particular strategic, tactical style of combat when you're in the vehicle, faces and so on. But the trick is that there's so much hidden in the world. Encounters, activities, combat opportunities. Lots of it is underground.
Underground?
Yep. So this is a city. I don't want to give too much away, but
did you say lots of the combat is underground?
If you're if you're prepared to invest and explore and try to decode the things that you're seeing. So, for example, we've just passed by an oil pipe that leads from somewhere to somewhere. You'll see the distant shadow of an oil refinery in the background. Some of the camps look very much like oil rigs. You see the harbour wall. You may not know it as a harbour wall, but if you're prepared to invest, do some side missions, go and explore, then ultimately you will uncover how this world before the apocalypse looked and functioned, and where you might expect to find a subway or a church or an office building or a diner or whatever. So that's one of the ways that we like to reward people for their efforts in investing in covering a large area of the world. You'll also find notes written from survivor. We don't know if they've survived or not, but people before the apocalypse. Maybe pictures of their family, scribbled on the back. Maybe hints about what happened in the apocalypse. So there's a lot behind that sort of initial facade of, oh no, this is a desolate, empty, but potentially dangerous wasteland. And the on-foot combat is definitely one of the vehicles for exploring underground and exploring some of these more out-of-the-way areas.
Yeah, I was gonna say it does actually look pretty alive for a desert. So there's so much you can see in the background. This really dirty Mad Max style, and all the stuff you told us that you can discover, does that include a lot of side quests as well? Is there like any specific side mission, or are there a lot of little side missions you can do?
Yeah, so like any good open world game, there's a
I want to know how many
array of things.
How many side quests you can actually go on.
So there's an array of activities and encounters and things that you can do, and we will reward you if you go out looking for them. Some of the things we will signpost for you when you go up in that vantage outpost, but some of them we won't. Some of them are sort of centered around some of the quirky characters in the wasteland. Some of them are part of the main mission and so on. This particular area,
this looks like a game where you have to be careful.
Scrotus.
We have to be very careful who you talk to and where you go, because it seems like everybody would be out to get you.
Attacking one of these sort of last bastions of resistance, Pink Eye's stronghold. She's not allied with Scrotus, and Max,
look how much
in this
work
case,
they put in. Look at this.
Is trying to help her
it's just
out
one part of the map,
making
and it looks like
take down these catapults
just
and
an
stop
immersive
the
world.
hoping that in return she will allow him to come into the stronghold, and they can sort of form some sort of agreement.
Will you give us an explanation for the name Scrotus? Because it sounds like, Scrotum.
What the heck?
Why is there a character called Scrotus? What's the story?
Well, Scabrous Scrotus is one of the sons of Immortan Joe.
Oh, all right, okay, yeah. We all know him by now, of course, yeah.
And his other sons have equally
all right, so hopefully that showed you a little bit of what this game is looking like, because I am loving how big the map is. This game has hit me by surprise. I thought it was going to be a very, like,
the story is heading towards a climax.
Straight up story mission game, and that is it. But they made a wide open world. They made side quests. They made things that you can collect.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
But
to know more about what happened in the world before the apocalypse, how it used to look. I mean, they made it so that your upgrades to your car matter about, like, they matter in just getting to new places. It's so awesome to me. So this game definitely looks better than I anticipated, for sure.
Wasteland.
It's good to see they didn't just
like, okay, well, what am I
try to rush it out just to be a movie tie-in and things like that. They took their time.
Where should I go?
She said they took 3.5 years making this game.
What should I destroy?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Whoa.
Just a couple of minutes left. So if we would like to, you could show some other scenes, some other sequence.
Is there anything you
Wow.
Then we looked at where we would branch
so,
and how.
Let's find out what's going on with Horizon. No copyrighted music, no copyrighted music, no copyrighted music.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Plus maneuvers, 8,000. Lewis, almost to 5,000. Wow. Alright, hang on. We almost missed something.
Here.
Alright, that's good. Let's blow this up.
Our stories speak of the ones that came before. The old ones.
Oh, I'm so excited about this game. By the same people who made all the Killzone games.
So different than ours.
Guerrilla.
They had built incredible cities with towers that reached the stars. But a darkness came, and their cities turned to graves. And without them, the land started to change. Their great cities faded away.
Epic music.
And in their place came new life.
Have we beat Xbox yet? I don't know, man. I don't think so.
Over time,
but I mean, Sony did basically skip Gamescom altogether. They were there, but they didn't do a conference. So they basically said, "Nah, we're not gonna do it like that."
They say my tribe was the first to hunt, the first to raise our bows. For this world was never ours. We've always shared it. A dangerous balance between man and machine. There's the herd. Finally.
Great into gameplay. So awesome. Let's go. A watcher. I'm just gonna keep moving as it stares right at me. That's good. That's how you hide, right? Good job, lady.
Sorry, little one. I couldn't let you call for help.
I love the look of this game. I'm not so sure about her hiding tactics. Her hiding tactics I think they have a lot to be left behind. I think she should learn some new hiding tactics.
Okay, those canisters should be full by now.
But hey, maybe you hide from giant metal dinosaur things differently than you hide from regular things.
Oh, come on! Yes!
Roar! Of course.
Here we go! Pose
Look at this. It actually busted that rock. Destructible environments.
Gotta get under it. Got it.
Ouch. Heck yes it does. Oh! Yeah, I'm sure she lived through that gigantic Robotosaurus Rex tail whip.
Stay still.
Robot-proof vest on. She looks like she knows Nikali. She looks like she knows that new character from Street Fighter V.
Time to shut.
She looks like they hang out. That's why I say, hey girl, nice shot. I'm down.
The stories don't tell where the old ones went.
Look at all the work they put into this.
They don't tell us why the machines rule these lands. But
By the
they
way,
warn
thank you
us
guys for being here.
that this balance cannot last.
Horizon Zero Dawn. Starring
The storm is coming.
Gritty Urban. Not starring Gritty Urban, but
Ihr könnt ihn sehen,
co-starring
er sitzt
maybe.
da. Das ist der gute Mark von Guerrilla Games.
Mark Norris!
Hi.
Hey.
Yeah!
Hello, sorry I don't speak German.
Hi.
I'm so bad at it.
Oh, no.
No problem.
Thank
Hi,
you.
thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely.
And as usual,
Alright,
every
this is gonna be some new
guest of
stuff right
ours
here. They're
has
gonna
to
tell
do
us
this.
something
Please
cool about the
introduce
game
yourself.
for
Who are you?
sure.
What is your position?
Sure. So my name is Mark Norris. I'm a senior producer at Guerrilla Games on Horizon Zero Dawn.
So what's actually the job of a senior producer? What is your day-to-day business? What are you doing every day?
It's a fantastic question.
That's a good question.
The best part about the games industry is that when you go, hey, what is a producer? At every company ever, it's like, we don't really know. There is no, there's no day-to-day. There's this interesting thing, like how do we measure actually how good a producer is? It's actually a really interesting question. What I kind of do, and there is no sort of regular day-to-day, my primary responsibility is to work with the game director and the executive team to ensure that we're aligning their vision for what the game wants to be from a production standpoint. So when you have a team of almost 200 people, it's really easy for everyone to think that we're all kind of marching in the same direction. And then you kind of find out as you're making something, this didn't actually align up with the vision that we all thought that we were having. So a big part of the production team at Guerrilla Games and a big part of my job is to make sure that when that vision is defined, that it's well communicated, that the team is all working together towards that vision, and that we're all making the same game together.
So please talk about your vision. What is your game?
Yeah,
What
please,
is Horizon
tell us
Zero
more
Dawn?
about
What
the
hell is
game.
going on?
Sure, I think, you know, we all have sort of these razor statements about our games. And the easiest thing to say about Horizon Zero Dawn is that it is a absolutely beautiful post-apocalyptic world where you get an opportunity to play as Aloy, this incredible character who will get into really interesting tactical and strategic combat.
It's so funny, like, so many people were complaining about how there weren't
really
enough
haven't been seen
women
That's
protagonists
for sure.
in games, but
When I was
they didn't
watching the
realize that
conference
games
and-
take
and
like
the game came up,
3 or 4
Horizon,
years
I
to
was
make, and now look,
like, what is this?
a year later
It's
after they
something
said
like
that,
this. Do
a
you,
year and a
like,
half
wake
after they
up in
said
the
that or
morning and
whatever,
decide,
there's
wow,
all
this
these
was a
games with
really good
women
dream, we should
protagonists,
make a game
so
out of it.
they were
How does it
complaining for
work?
no
Well, we
reason.
hear all these jokes, you know,
That's
because
like
Guerrilla Games is an
complaining
ancient
about
game, you know, there's all
where your
kinds of
check
fun
is
stuff
at
to
and
get
you don't
involved
even
with
check the
hamsters.
mail.
How do you,
We
how do you
don't
get-
know
Oh,
what you're
yeah.
talking
no
about.
idea.
Okay.
None
You mean
whatsoever.
beer, right?
Beer.
Beer.
Yeah, beer.
Now
Very
there's all these
popular in
cool
Regular beer, of course.
protagonist
Exactly, right.
women in games now.
So, you know, all kidding aside, the interesting thing about Guerrilla
Not
as
that there
a
weren't in the
fantastic
first
Dutch
place,
company
just
is
people
it's
weren't,
super
they
democratic.
weren't getting exactly what
And
they were looking for,
back in
apparently.
2011, when we started taking a look at potentially making a new IP after having worked on Killzone for a number of years, we actually just kind of let it open for the entire studio. Like anyone, didn't matter who you were, QA, secretaries, producers, artists, didn't matter who you were, your seniority, you could pitch a game. And we had more than 40 game pitches. And yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn is the one that kind of bubbled to the top. It certainly was the biggest risk, I think, that we could have taken from all of those game pitches.
Yeah, I would say so.
It was the one that we all agreed
it's a huge risk.
Big risk, but it also
so much different than what they've been doing.
We can nail it. And so hopefully we're going to be able to do that.
So was it hard to convince Sony to start a brand new, fresh IP?
I don't think it was hard to convince Sony to start a brand new, fresh IP. I think one of the most interesting things about, this is my 5th game studio now. I've worked at a number of different places. And one of the things that I can honestly say about Sony is they've allowed this to breathe. Because I think when you put it on paper, you've got this tribal huntress and this high technology.
Yeah.
It may not make sense at first. But maybe.
Caught the RKO out of nowhere.
But they let it have the time that it needed to actually convince them that actually this thing makes sense, that there's this incredible storyline.
That's cool that Sony let them
answering some really interesting philosophical questions.
Realize the world before they were like, I don't know about this.
And what humanity looks for, and who we are as a people, and who she is. And
Signosis game cover. It looks like I keep thinking it's gonna say that. Yeah, I keep thinking it's gonna be like the old owl. I think it's just gonna have an owl on the cover or something.
Story layer to it. Of course, we can't talk about the story yet. It's not something we're ready to talk about. But yeah,
how far away is this game?
What is the story like?
Exactly. But Sony let it breathe, and I think that's actually.
Does anybody know what the release date for this game is?
Right now, we were seeing actually drawings in the cave.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the mythology behind this whole game?
Yeah. Well, so first, you call that a cave. I'm not sure that I'd agree.
I just assumed it would be a cave.
Yes, of course.
Secrets all over the place.
Exactly. Secrets abound. Mysteries abound in Horizon Zero Dawn. So if you take a look at that may not be cave wall that they're actually painting on. So I'd say, as a first sort of look, PlayStation Nation, go take a look at that and see if you think that's a cave. But yeah, they're telling the history. There's a history that's actually being written on that.
I didn't even think about that.
From when that history starts and who that history is being written by and what world this is, those are other mysteries that we're not going to talk about yet. But there's certainly a lot of mysteries for those specific hieroglyphs that are being written on that cave wall.
You already mentioned Aloy, the main character. Why did you decide her to be a female? Because I think it's more popular to choose for a male main character. Was that a hard decision, or did you have to convince someone that it has to be a female character?
Need some Kingdom Hearts, yeah.
So for us, there are three things
whenever that's going to come out.
So 2011,
they got the same dude working on Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy VII Remake, so you can expect for both of those games to come out much later than what you thought in the beginning.
With the story that we were trying to tell, it was always Aloy. It was never a male character. It was never a decision. Like there wasn't a time where.
One second, we just have your microphone because we got some interference.
No, it's not your fault.
But yes, Kingdom Hearts does look awesome. I was so hyped when I saw the game actually in motion finally. The game everyone's been waiting for. Jeez.
Okay, please.
I mean, not everybody, but
sorry. So it was
the game a lot of people have been waiting for. It did not disappoint, but they said basically the guy in charge of it is known for not finishing things and having to hand them off to other teams because he moved on to other projects, and now he is currently working on not only Kingdom Hearts, but he's also working on Final Fantasy VII Remake, the biggest remake ever. He's working on that and Kingdom Hearts, so we will have to wait and see. And I capitalized the word wait.
But we wanted to really explore some
Kingdom Hearts 2040 at least. I think it's the other way around. I think Kingdom Hearts will come out then, and then the remake. But RKO, I think you got the dates almost right.
It's always been machines.
I hope not. I really hope not.
The machines and the sort of the primitive tribal, the high technology versus primitive and tribal it's just always been there. So those have not changed.
Yeah, Konami's been messing up, man.
A lot of times you get involved.
Konami's been messing up.
Pitch, and then over the years, major things about it.
But they have other businesses. They have other things that they do that they are successful in. So
gameplay, because I think it's
video games aren't their only source of income.
And surviving, I guess.
Well, those are certainly three strong verbs that you could talk about it with. There are a number of core game loops that are super interesting for us. We've called ourselves an open world action RPG. And for us, that's incredibly important. When you talk about crafting, that's certainly what we call an RPG system or a metagame system, something that layers into many other systems like experience points or leveling or perks or choosing outfits or choosing weapons. All of those things, you know, of course, are RPG elements, and those are all part of Horizon Zero Dawn. So there's a part of RPG that actually plays into that.
So he just confirmed that there is crafting, there are experience points, there are outfits, there are all of that is tied together in the game as well. He just confirmed that right now.
Shooting, it's guns.
Yeah.
And for us, as you can see, and
so most likely she put together some of the stuff she's using, or this outfit she's wearing is not the original outfit you start in the game, or you're gonna be wearing something else apparently. And also you can level up your character. They said it's an open world RPG, open world action RPG.
Strategic nature of the game, that you're going to want to really learn these machines over time. You're going to want to learn that they have a muscle structure, that if you hit certain parts of them, you do more damage. If you take off certain armor plates, that you unveil weak points. So you're going to spend a lot of time with a lot of these different machines in the game, and it's a little less, say, shooty, and a little more thinking. It's a little more cerebral.
Tactics.
And then, of course,
Kojima definitely made
which is exploration.
a legacy with the Metal Gear series.
So
he is Metal Gear.
That's an area that we haven't really shown
He's
too much
made some
about
other
yet,
games,
that's
of course,
we look
but
forward to
like,
showing
that's
a
just
little bit later.
him and Metal Gear are like
But
the
you can't
same
talk
thing
about
to me.
that now, about the
As soon as you say Kojima,
Well, I think
I think of Metal Gear. As soon as you say Metal Gear, I think of Snake and
obviously, we're an
Kojima.
open world game. How large we are, or what exactly the land size is, that's something that everybody always asks. But I think what they're really asking us when they're asking that question is, what is the fantasy that you're selling me? Are you going to interrupt me with load screens? Am I going to have enough content to do no matter how large that world is? And I think the answer to those questions are no, there's no load screens. We're a completely seamless streaming world. We're going to never try to take you out of the fiction.
No load times either.
And secondly, there's going to be
no
lots
loading.
of stuff for you to find. In fact, the crafting system requires you to kill or shoot some of the organic wildlife and collect some of their furs or some of their pelts and combine those things with different types of bamboo and sort of different elements that you find inside of the world as you're exploring tops of mountaintops or depths of valleys or whatever it might be.
And you can harvest things from the robot, machine, animal things. You can harvest things from them to craft different objects.
And then, of course, that strategic and tactical nature of the game.
That is cool. He also said that finding, he said figuring out and learning what each robot's weak points are, what their musculature is, where they're, where you can take off a plate to unveil a big damage spot on them.
Changing a lot.
Knowing those things over time will make it so it's easier for you. So there are things to study about each individual type of animal in the game. That's pretty cool too.
Technically, it's one big area because, again, there's no loads and sort of no zoning. But within that one big area, there are certainly a number of different environments that you'll explore. And you even see that in the video.
You're a Terminator.
There's sort of a desert region.
That's interesting. I did not know there were such things yet.
Lush, jungle-ish looking region.
The prophecy is ahead of time.
There's the forest area that you're kind of fighting inside of the gameplay area. So certainly you will be going into a number of different regions, and those regions actually feel very different. And there's a reason why those specific regions actually exist, and that all ties into the story.
So are there different conditions then in a different region?
As in, like, different weather conditions?
Yeah.
There's actually a full day-night cycle and a full weather system inside of the game.
Nice.
So, yeah,
there's a day-night cycle as well.
Can you actually research that kind of game? I mean, how does your research look like? Do you go out in the forest and nature and
that is
take
awesome.
photographs of all the trees and mountains and stuff like that, and then you add dinosaur robots?
You absolutely do. Now, I'm not saying that this game
really
is necessarily set in Earth. That's something that, you know, we might talk about sometime in the future. In fact, I'm sure we will. But we obviously have to use Earth as a reference. And we certainly went to certain locations around. Don't want to get too specific because that might get spoilery. And yeah, we did a lot of on-location photography, a lot of on-location taking a look at the different sort of grasses and the different trees, the different vegetation in each of those regions. And we really wanted to capture how those regions felt. So that was actually a big part. We sent our art team out a couple of years ago to capture all that information. They had a really good time. They rode in a helicopter. I don't know how that helped them with vegetation. But they were like, oh, we need to study plants from the air.
Yeah, of course.
Sure
you did.
The guys who were scouting and figuring out like what type of plants and things they wanted to put in the game, they rode in a helicopter to check out the vegetation.
A lot of Killzone games, and that
I
right
think they got some money out of the company just for something fun.
So
I don't think that they
to
really needed
develop
that.
a completely different game?
Yeah, I think so. Herman Holst is the managing director of our studio, so the studio head, and he was asked a question about this, I think, by Edge, and I think he answered 100% honestly when he said, I think it's the hardest thing we've done. Really transitioning.
Oh, of course, yeah. Of course, this
first-person
game is
shooter
harder to
engine
make than Killzone.
Was really did a good job of building a number of Killzone games and building that very specific game.
It really needs to be
Modifying
terminated. Yeah, good luck with
to be able
that.
to put in streaming systems and certain nav meshes, and we didn't make this easy on them from a content standpoint. You know, the 5 machines that you guys have already seen, the tall necks, the huge giraffe-looking machines, and then you see even
tall
just
necks,
the little
that's the name of it.
the little ones with the big eye. Those can't fit on the same nav mesh. Like if you tell a scout or a watcher to kind of walk between 2 rocks, he'll happily walk between the 2 rocks. If you put one of those tall necks on the same sort of spline and say, go walk between those 2 rocks, he'll try and do it too, and then he'll just get stuck. Right? He'll just sit there and be like, well, I'm hitting these rocks. I totally know I can pass through, but I'm not. And so there's a lot of technical work. We had to redo lighting systems. There's just so much work to do when you go away from kind of being a lot of interior spaces to
when you had like a very linear game before, and you go into an open world action RPG, you're gonna have a lot more work to do.
Talk some more, but we are running out of time already.
Time's out. Bummer.
All right. So what's next?
You got the message.
What is this? Assassin's Creed? Yeah, it is. Alright, we've probably seen parts of this trailer before, but let's blow it up. See what's going on in here. Ah, yes. Computer generated. Let's go forward. Nope, no copyrighted music.
Gamescom, but it's been great.
Of course.
Nope.
So you had your first party yesterday.
No copyrighted music.
Well, I think one of the great things about the brand
New trailer, like
Show me the gameplay.
Stuff like that. But now we have London at this.
that Assassin's Creed is about. Let go of the reins.
Stop talking.
Down to see
Stop talking.
So it's really up to the player.
Show me the gameplay.
Did you as a
Lives out without police reacting to you.
Stop
Have a good
talking.
show.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
What? That was it?
Okay.
So,
Alles klar.
Freunde.
Where is the gameplay?
Warte, ich will noch mal kurz die Regie zeigen.
Ach so, zeig mal.
What is this? I don't care.
Ja, kein Problem. Da
I
ist
see
auch
them
schon
walking around.
Schnell zum Businessbereich und gucken, wie es da ist. Einfach nur, weil dieser Weg so
Gar nicht gesehen.
Ja.
Wir haben das gedreht und dann einfach hier den.
Yeah, what they said.
Ausmacht.
Ja, Päuschen, denn ich höre gerade die.
Alright, we're going forward. No copyright music. Nope. Stop.
People go in and
Stop
like,
that
oh,
music.
you must get complaints all the time. It's like, yeah, but that's great.
Because it
There's
is
new Uncharted gameplay in this?
of the game and the characters.
I've seen this.
Came together.
Okay.
He feels honored.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a personal thing, but there's so many great characters throughout the series
course.
that it's hard to really say.
Alright, we will
That
watch
was
from
a
here.
Hamlet reference.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you see, we are doing very intelligent entertainment here. And what about you?
It sounds like
Funny
it.
'cause
Sounds very
neither of us are
intelligent.
going to pick main characters. I think one of my favorite characters, and I think a lot of people, it's one of their favorite too, is Eddie Raja from Grace Fortune. The thing is, you've never seen him die, so he could still be alive somewhere. He could pop up again.
The old tricks.
I always, every time we go through it, and it's like, I'm not the only one, but I always say, look, we never saw him die. Like, maybe there's a place for him in this next game. Never know.
Never know.
I'm going to keep holding out hope that he comes back somehow.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah.
All right.
Arnie does motion capture for Eddie in his spare time.
I don't necessarily care about their favorite
do you
characters.
guys miss her, actually? And
I don't care if you miss
obviously.
people.
And of course, it's always a very big, great moment for the fans. Everybody's cheering. Yeah. And I think you can, you got a surefire hit on your hands. You got Uncharted 4. So, well.
We hope. We hope.
Yeah, but how was that situation for you, for Naughty Dog? Unveiling to the people for the first time some sequences, things we never seen before. Are you still nervous as well?
Oh yeah, we're always really tense because we're working so hard inside the studio that we don't have a good idea of what we're working on.
As long as they're
looks like
sitting
from
on the
the
couch,
outside,
I'm doing
someone
this
that
view.
hasn't been working on this the entire time, and we see all the rough edges. We see the things that could be better, or things that might not be as perfect as we want them to be. But you know, we have deadlines to finish.
Are you seriously
so
going to show the exact same footage that we saw at E3?
Really think of this? Like,
because if
yeah,
they do that to me,
we put everything that we
I'm just
going
to fast forward.
Like, is it
because
really as
that
good
is,
as, you know, we sort of feel like it
if
should
you
be.
care about
So
Uncharted, you've seen this footage already.
We
So
get that reaction. That's really
seems
one of the great
very lazy. Very lazy.
Amazing sort of thing we made at E3, and then sort of perpetuated down the line into this huge, full, surefire hit. Hopefully. So.
Please use a canvas.
That's it? Really?
Yeah.
The pens are over here.
Draw something, whatever you want to do.
That's it?
Thanks so much. Please
you have to be kidding me.
Bringt etwas Spielbares mit.
Oh yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, that was Uncharted. It was Uncharted. They just showed their E3 footage again. Like it's not 2 months after E3.
Respond to your gameplay. For example, if you do a lot of headshots, they'll start equipping.
I was hoping they had some gameplay of it, but
if you go sneaking at night,
lazy.
Using flash
Brilliant, but lazy.
Things like that. But
it's
today
like
we're
Spider-Man 2 all over again that year.
We'll show you what players will actually see when they start playing the game.
Okay.
But
now, Metal Gear, at least I know that they show new gameplay for Metal Gear. I know that because I've read it in the I've read it in the section. I've read it on websites. I have not seen this footage yet.
So we'll go ahead.
This is Metal Gear, right? Yeah, it is. Okay.
As quiet as we can.
As quiet as a mouse for once.
You can talk
All
during
right.
the loading screen.
We're definitely watching
How
some
long
of
are
this.
the loading screens?
It's not too long, actually.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
But for those who want to
No, you go back to the couch, you come back here, all right?
We have some tips here. So
Stop showing them on the
It's a very
couch.
complex game, so it's actually very useful
I'm
to learn
telling
these
you,
tips. There's
stop
some
showing them on the
cool
couch.
pointers in there that can be useful.
So maybe I can just quickly say that maybe you guys out there want to ask some questions afterwards. Please write them down in the chat.
I'm going to ask you a question
we
to
can
not
ask them for
show
you guys.
the couch anymore. I just want to see the game.
We can start.
So we'll jump in.
Badass zombie.
Again, timing is critical, so we're going to try to keep things moving.
Yeah.
Sure. All right,
So
finally,
right
gameplay. Here we
starting
go.
Off, this is the start point of the demo. Note that in the actual game, you can start from any location. You can choose a drop point, or you can start a mission organically as you wander through the landscape. And as I mentioned earlier, our mission objective is to eliminate a Spetsnaz commander. So you can see that here. It's the same as our E3 mission, but today we're going to show you a different way to do that.
Yeah.
All right, so we have your buddy.
Nice.
Your buddy in the
A non-lazy developer that said, hey, let's take the game there and just show them you can do it a different way or something. Let's at least do that. Not that Naughty Dog is lazy, I'm just saying their appearance at Gamescom, based on this footage, was what I would call somewhat lazy. This game is beautiful.
And as Miller explained, you can extract animals from the field. These go back to Mother Base. You can kind of start your own zoo. And the more animals you collect, the more rewards you get. It's a lot of fun. All right, so right now you're seeing an enemy patrol. As you approach an enemy compound, there will be patrols that scout the roads, so you need to be careful. We're showing off one of Snake's new moves. You can hang off the side of the horse. This will lower your
Horsing
profile
around,
and allow
oh
you to sneak
no.
around the enemies. All right, so once we're out of view, we can get off of the horse and sneak up behind these guys.
Hey, buddy, did you see that random horse with a
and
a saddle on it, but no person riding it except for his shoe?
Behind him.
No, I didn't see that. Oh yeah, well, it just went over there though. Sounds like it circled behind us, and now there's
Interrogation
footsteps.
is very useful for getting information. In this case, we learned the location of the vehicle.
Yeah.
But since we have D-Horse, we're going to move on, not look for the vehicle. So we'll send this guy back to Mother Base. We'll attach a floating balloon, and he'll go flying back to Mother Base. You'll note that all the soldiers here are speaking Russian.
Yeah.
We can understand what they're saying with the subtitles because we've already extracted an interpreter.
Ah, okay.
And that explains what happened in Roswell all those years ago.
Languages, and if you go into a war zone, people will speak their own language, but if you get an interpreter, you'll then enable subtitles in the game.
Okay, great.
Really good. Really good animation, shadowing.
Keep your guard up. All right, so this is our mission area. And of course, the first thing you should do before you sneak into any enemy compound is survey the area and do some recon.
Oh my goodness, look at all this detail.
We'll start marking enemies. Do note that you can see their abilities on the right-hand side of the screen because we've upgraded our analyzer.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So this
how I
helps
met
you
your
choose
mother.
who's worth fulfilling out, because Fultons, of course, cost resources. GMP, which we call in the game gross military product. So you don't want to just Fulton everyone necessarily.
And what are some of these abilities?
You can see, well, some people may have unique abilities. For example, this guy, you know, has very high stats. Some people may have a botanist skill or things like that. So a lot of different things. All right. So here we'll show you some of the weapons that are in the demo as well. So we have a variety of weapons to choose from.
They should put this demo out.
In the game. There are lethal weapons and non-lethal as well. Of course, you get rewarded for non-lethal gameplay. Your default arm, also, you can swap your arm out because you have a prosthetic arm. You start with a bionic arm, but you can develop new types of technology. You can develop a stun arm and what we call the rocket arm, which you can fire off like a missile. We showed that off in a gameplay video a while back. You also have various uniforms that you can use, different types of camo, a sneaking suit, which reduces the amount of sound that you make as you move, and a battle dress, which offers greater defense if you want to go in guns blazing. You can also call in vehicles if you like, but for today we want to sneak in, so we're not going to use any vehicles. Also, this is a heads up to people who may want to play the demo on the show floor. We have different loadouts prepared for people. Now, loadouts are things that users can customize. You can
Big
prepare
boss
different
now
loadouts.
is Spencer.
And
Yeah, pretty much. He's got a bionic arm.
Set of equipment. So we have 3 prepared. Loadout 1 is kind of the balanced option. Loadout 2 is for combat. And then loadout 3 is our non-lethal option. So, of course, we're going to go the non-lethal route because we want to sneak in and show you how the game
We're
is
peaceful
done.
people at heart.
Exactly. We're all pacifists.
Yeah.
All right. And also, since we're here at our mission location, we can get rid of D-Horse and call in a more useful buddy. In this case, we'll call in D-Walker, who's kind of this robotic buddy who you can ride and make him do various things.
I see animal rights problems there.
Yeah, sure. D-Horse goes back to Mother Base now. All right, and we have the cardboard box in the demo as well.
Fantastic.
People are familiar with this. It wouldn't be Metal Gear without the cardboard box.
Yeah.
But as you can see, you can use it in new ways in the Phantom Pain.
Irish, what's up, Irish?
And this is actually a very useful thing to do because it's actually faster than running.
So cool.
You'll notice though that the enemy did see our box moving.
Yeah.
So he's kind of checking it out, which kind of worked out great for us because then our Fulton dropped. You know, our supplies dropped behind him without him seeing it.
Right here.
But he's going to come and check it
What's
out.
up?
So we'll run.
What's up, Irish Bong Smoker?
He notices us.
Lewis, RKO CJ, Badass Zombie, Moose Flicks, Clutch Maneuvers. There's a few people aren't listed on the screen, so I have to remember who I saw in here.
Okay, and now
What's
we
up,
got
guys?
some really useful intel. So he's told us where his boss is. Our
Yes,
job
the box
to
is the
eliminate
ultimate
commander.
tool. Ultimate
Now we know where to look.
disguise.
So if we open up our map, you can see now that yellow square, we know where to look for our target. And here is the supply drop that we ordered. This will contain our loadout.
He's coming too. Roger that.
This is Metal Gear Solid 5.
As you can see, we have all these weapons and equipment down on the lower
The
left.
Phantom Pain. I gotta be.
You can also gather materials from the field.
Gotta be detailed on it because there is already a Metal Gear Solid 5, but it was a tech demo that they charged people $30 for. This is Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, not
while we were in the building,
Ground Zeroes.
D-Walker arrived. So we have D-Walker here. That said, we're not going to use him right away because enemies may notice us. So we'll go ahead and scout the area out first, make sure the coast is clear.
This is not Ground Zeroes. Nice shot.
Nice, yeah. So right now we're using a silenced sniper rifle equipped with tranq rounds.
That
And now
box
that we know
has
the
been
coast is clear,
possessed.
we'll go ahead and call D-Walker. And what we can then do is
Whoa, what the heck is
enable
that?
search mode. And what this does is it causes D-Walker to scan the area and mark all enemies within sight. Right, so now we have the enemies marked. We'll move in. And since we're trying to eliminate the target from a distance,
Oh, so that robot will
let's
just
get a
mark
high vantage
all
point.
the enemies in the area.
Up here and see if we can find him.
That's pretty cool.
You know he should be somewhere in this area. Do our intel.
Analysis complete.
All right, Lewis. Chappie? Yeah, that was Chappie.
All right. Now, you notice that we completed a mission task there. There are various hidden tasks hidden in the mission.
Did you miss? Yeah, you missed.
Try and get these guys. It's kind of hard to aim. It's a big TV. It's bigger than we're used to.
Oh, okay, okay.
We have the biggest TV.
Yeah, nothing but the biggest at PlayStation. All right. So here we go. You can see we got credit for one of our mission tasks because we tranquilized our target from long distance. And so you can have a lot of fun just replaying missions and trying to complete all these
excuses. Yeah, the TV's too big. We can't aim. That's funny.
So we're gonna have to go in and reclaim.
That's cool. They have different objectives and different things you get credit for. If you tranquilize somebody from a long distance, you get the credit for that.
Extricate him from the mission area.
Doing different mission objectives in different ways.
Into the compound, and we have something very handy for doing that. It's called stealth camo. Keep in mind, this is prototype stealth camo, so it won't last very long. You can see there's a gauge down on the lower left, and once that gauge ticks down, we become visible again. So we'll just run very quickly to our target.
Yeah, it's stealth camouflage.
We'll also call D-Walker, so
Colonel, I have stealth camouflage active. What should I do with it? I don't know, Snake. You should probably get out of the open before it runs out.
Of course, we have some cool music here.
Yeah,
a lot of
Snake
cool
out.
tracks in the game.
People make a game and aren't good at it. Hey, well, these guys probably aren't the testers. These guys are probably the guys who are the publicists for the game or something. They just hang around the office and play it every now and then they get on the phone and talk to people about earnings calls and stuff like that.
Bring them outside.
They're probably not the best. They're probably not the testers that they use to figure out if the game runs correctly or if the aiming is great.
And you can collect all of these tapes as well and play them back in the Walkman. I see you dancing there. So.
Yeah.
Create your own
Here goes this guy.
Yeah, I know this.
Oh, it's hooray.
More Roswell reenactments.
Alright, so we got more of our mission tasks checked off. Now we need to get out of the mission area, so we'll call in our chopper. Select the landing zone. All we need to do is get out.
Oh, you got sighted.
What happened?
Alright, we got
What happened? His friend was like, what happened?
So, not too pretty. Now we're in for some excitement. Alright, so
yeah, hop on Chappie.
We've triggered an alert. We're gonna have to get out of here quickly, so we'll use D-Walker. D-Walker has a lot of firepower. If you're ever in a situation like this,
that's what I'm talking about. You guys watch me play this game, you're gonna see me and Chappie getting along a lot.
Take too much damage, so he's not invincible.
Oh, he's not invincible. Never mind. Never mind. Retract my previous statement.
Also keep in mind that once you triggered an alert, enemies will pursue you, and even if you wander from one area into another, they can. The areas, the alert spans different areas, and there may be other reinforcements coming from a different base.
So you can't feel safe.
Escapes and everything.
You're never completely safe, so you should always, you know, even if you're running away, keep an eye out behind you. Make sure you're not being pursued.
Okay.
I think it's some very good traction. Very good leg control.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, maybe.
How am I gonna play this full stealth?
Yeah.
There will probably never be a game that I will play full stealth on.
Well, so we'll do that. If it's nighttime, they'll launch flares to try and look for you as well. So
you guys will probably never see me play a game full stealth all the way through. I'm just warning you right now. That's not what I do.
All right. There we go.
That was pretty cool.
We managed to get on the helicopter.
I liked it.
And it looks like we're in the clear.
I like how he got in there, tranquilized one guy, and then got sighted and killed everybody but the guy he was supposed to kill. But he got credit probably for just extracting him without killing him himself.
Great.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Unfortunately, we don't.
You gotta break
have
a few
much time
eggs.
left. Actually, we don't have any much time. We have one question.
That's how you play Metal Gear, full stealth. No,
we can actually play
that is not how you play Metal Gear.
Yes. This particular
it's Metal Gear, man. It's a giant robot. You're playing a game named after a giant robot. Not full stealth.
Check out our booth. It's down there.
Right.
Thanks for talking to us. Thanks for taking the time. It was a pleasure. Very impressive.
It's just mostly
One
stealth.
thing. Please sign our canvas. You can
epic
sign it,
boss battles and such.
Cool. You can do whatever you want.
I would say it is mostly stealth, but I'm just not the biggest fan of stealth unless it's just supremely rewarding. And I don't really find the stealth too rewarding in Metal Gear, really. I mean, I love the game. And I do like sneaking through areas. I do like being like, hey, I got through that whole entire place without getting seen, without setting up an alarm, or somebody being like, hey, what was that noise?
Yeah, please.
But
go ahead.
the reward for it is like, I don't see a difference between the reward and just not doing it. Basically, you still can get further in the game. You just gotta kill a few people or something. So
it's totally fine.
it doesn't really. Oh, you got the title of elephant. Like, okay, great, thanks. I'm glad I got the elephant title. Could have beat the game an hour sooner if I just would have killed this dude, but glad I got the elephant title instead of the zebra title. It's like, I just don't see the payoff for it. It does. There are some people who just have to get through a game in that manner, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, personally, I'm not the biggest stealth user.
Aber wir verschenken es auf jeden Fall.
They're talking all kinds of.
So, da sind wir damit.
Energy! Versuch eine PS4 zu gewinnen.
NITTY Number 9 und ich glaube, das können wir schon sagen, da haben wir einen
Interview,
ganz speziellen
Street Fighter 5 hands-on, PS.
Ich möchte fast sagen, ein Stargast.
Where is this? I do not have any of that
stuff.
stuff.
Einschalten, um zu wissen.
I don't have any of that.
Unfolded rein, da ist jemand da, der kann uns ein bisschen was dazu erzählen. Außerdem,
I didn't even know about any of this.
Mich persönlich sehr.
Let's take a look at this. Run in, kill everything. Kind of. Sometimes. Like I said, I'll sneak if I need to. If I look really outnumbered, I'm going to try to sneak. Trust me. I'm not just going to die all the time. I'll probably do that a couple times until I realize that I'm probably not getting through this unless I put a little stealth on. So I'm just going to say that most of the time I'm not going to do stealth unless there is some sort of reward for it. Big Boss aims with his eye patch. Tearaway. Oh, Tearaway looks cool. Guitar Hero. It's just an interview. Hands-on with PES 2016. Street Fighter 5 hands-on. Resident Evil 0 hands-on. Whoa. So I have some new footage that I gotta get, apparently. Because I don't have any of this. So that is basically the coverage that I wanted to go through. Basically those games. The ones that were included with this original 3-hour broadcast here that they put out. I did not know that there was the rest of this. I think this is actually done on a different day. I think that's what Morgan means. That might be what Morgan means up here in the middle. Morgan might mean that it's a different day. I'm going to try to get this footage. That way we can review that footage on a different day here when I do the next episode of the Nitty Gritty. I'm looking for, Mighty Number 9. I'm looking forward to Mighty Number 9 as well. I hear it got delayed, though. I hear that game got delayed all the way till next year or something. See what happens? See what happens? But that's for the best. You know, anytime a game gets delayed, it's probably for the best. So just hopefully it's good when it comes out. That's it. Morgan is mourning in Germany. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, Mooseflix. See? I was close. And it almost sounds like mourning. So yeah. That was pretty cool. Some of that gameplay footage is things that I have not seen before. And some of it was things that I've seen before, so it's kind of it's up in the air. I feel like Sony should not have skipped Gamescom. They didn't skip it, but they should not have stopped and said, you know what, we're just not going to do a conference. They should have done something. And what I feel like is that they put all their eggs in one basket for E3. They're like, we gotta kill E3, so they went, killed E3. And then they're like, whatever. I'm cool. I'm cool with that. WWE 16 took the submission style from the UFC game. Really? I have not played recent UFC games, so I didn't make that. I didn't make that comparison in my video. If that's true, I definitely would have. I don't know if you guys have seen the 2K16 gameplay breakdown that I did. It is on YouTube currently. You guys can check that out if you have not already seen it. But this was pretty cool. I do like the new information, the things that they confirmed about Horizon. I liked the Until Dawn footage. Showed some new gameplay mechanics, things like you can't move the controller while a guy is looking for you, and it has a motion sensor in the controller, so you actually have to stay still in real life to make sure the guy doesn't catch you. Also, the fact that that everyone in the game can die, or everybody in the game can live, depending on what you've done during the game. Also, if everybody in the game dies, it doesn't mean game over. It's just the game will continue on with its narrative, with its storyline, with everything that's going on until dawn. And no matter what you do, you will reach dawn. Unless you turn off your game, stop playing, of course. But if you start the game, you will end up beating the game. That's super cool. And Mad Max footage was probably the most surprising to me because I just got blown away by it. I was not expecting it to be that wide open world, not expecting for there to be all kinds of side quests, not expecting for the upgrades you do to your vehicle to actually affect where you can go on the map. Not expecting for there to be that many upgrades as well. They said that your car will most likely look different than anybody else's car no matter what. And also that it had combat, just the graphics, the presentation, it really looks and feels like Mad Max to me. So I'm just really happy with the way that has turned out. It's really cool. What's up, Nat? Catastrophe's in the house. In the house? The house. Oh, it's supposed to be on the house. Oh, well, what's up, Nat? Yes, RKOCJ, you did comment on there, and I appreciate it. Everybody in here who comments on the YouTube videos, thumbs them up, things like that, that is awesome. That definitely helps. It gets them higher up the lists on YouTube. That makes it so that when people are looking for a video, they're more likely to find mine in the first page or so. And that just, like I said, it contributes to the saga. I do have a contract with Machinima, so people who are watching this on YouTube, now you know that, but the people who are watching this on Twitch, I definitely appreciate you guys watching the live streams. I will be uploading this footage later, so you guys can, go back through it if you like, and hear what I said over again if maybe you missed it, or I don't know, you had something else that you needed to do in the house or something. Well, yeah, Moose Flakes, it wasn't as hype as the Microsoft conference. Like I said, Sony did not do a conference. They didn't have like reveals and things like that. Sony just had some people sitting in a room. Some of them were playing games. Some of them were just doing interviews. So, of course, I got to keep it real. I love Sony. I love Microsoft. I love Nintendo. I love all these companies. I love every single company that goes outside of the box and makes a game. Okay, no matter if it's hype or not, I really have a lot of love and respect for these companies because it is a venture. It takes a long time to make a game. You have to have a dedicated want to come out with something and a vision ahead of time. So all games hype me up. Lance, thanks for the follow, man. You got yourself a zombie. Lance, welcome to the saga, man. I could have sworn you were already following, but welcome. Welcome again. So yeah, I mean, if you guys would like to do some Q&A here, that would be great. If you guys have some questions for me about what I'm hyped for from the Xbox conference, what I'm hyped for from this Sony event here, what I'm looking forward to most in gaming, what I'm going to be playing next. If you guys have any sort of questions for me, right now is the time to do it. People on YouTube, if you'd like to stick around for that, that's all good. You're a zombie now. No, you got one coming after you. So I'll be doing some Q&A. I'll do some Q&A for like the next, I'd say 15 minutes or so. If you guys have any questions or concerns, this is the time. Or if you have a certain part of this video that you wanted to see over again, like if you wanted to see the Until Dawn footage again, because we could do that. We can go back to Until Dawn. We can go back to the Horizon interview. We can go back to the gameplay from Mad Max. David Cassidy, what's up, man? Mario Kart, what's up? What's up? And David Cassidy. David Cassidy, where have you been? Hopefully everything's been good, man. Love to see Mad Max. Alright, we can go back there. Like I said, I definitely liked this footage. Nope, no copyrighted music.
And the fans are so fanatical about the license.
This game looks so cool.
Back. As a point, yep.
The dramatic.
No.
Yes.
Wait a second.
Awesome.
This guy's got all kinds of sound effects.
Like to give you a massive
here we go.
World,
I'll blow this up a little
let
bit.
You go to the far reaches and
Or a
reward
lot.
you with surprises about, you know, the history of the world or what people have done in this particular area. So, and all of that stuff
Bonfire.
is definitely.
All right, so we did get a few questions here.
Things that we wanted
How's
to
the new book
be prevalent in the Mad Max game as well.
Okay.
I hit a reading fix.
That was 2 years ago when you saw that, right?
Jeez, I've been working on so many different
you
projects.
Were this game for almost 3.5 years.
Some
now,
projects I can't necessarily talk about currently, but the book is kind of. It's just whenever I get very inspired. Whenever I get very inspired, I sit down and I just write. I type it all out. But that's difficult because most of my inspiration is going towards doing video compilations, editing things for gameplay, what I'm going to stream next, all kinds of stuff like that. So the book, it gets worked on whenever it just really hits me, and I think that's best. I think that is best. That way it's not long-winded weirdness where I'm just trying to write. It's something where I feel like, yes, that's where it should go. That it keeps it just, to me, it keeps it action-packed. It keeps it something relevant. It doesn't make it something where, oh, now they're on one of those meaningless side quests because I have to build character. Like I want it to speak for itself, and I'm not in a rush for it. I love that you're asking me about that for sure.
In the pre-production and production of the game.
I mean, that's awesome. And I do have a few chapters. But I feel like that would make it even worse if I give you a few chapters for you to just for everybody in here to just read ahead of time.
No, the game is it's a single
or I could post some